I think they're one of the best lineups in baseball.
S&P futures down 14. This is CBS News.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance, so you only pay for what you need. Visit libertymutual.com to learn more.
For you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar. Whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners, it's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and made from sugar beets grown right here. What could be sweeter than that?
Dan owed an unbelievable amount of money to the IRS.
I got behind on my taxes. It's a horrible feeling.
He was in denial.
And when I got those letters from the IRS, you wanted to act like they didn't exist.
Finally, Dan turned to Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima got me a settlement with the IRS. These people are really people-friendly. It was every bit of a new...
Fast action and the great results made Dan's head spin.
I felt like I was in a dream, but it's real. And I have paperwork to prove it. They got the job done, and life is good.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation.
If you're worried about what's going to happen with the IRS, stop worrying. Make the call now.
Call 800-364-9188. 800-364-9188. 800-364-9188.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual... Details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. .com/free.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom. This is WSGW News.
Partly cloudy skies and 34 degrees at 9:05. Good morning, I'm Mike Percha. The Saginaw man has been charged in a shooting on early Monday morning. 60-year-old Stephen Adams was arrested around 3:50 a.m. at the scene of the shooting, where an unidentified man was seriously injured inside a vehicle. Adams appeared in court Thursday for arraignment on charges of assault with intent to cause great bodily harm, assault with a dangerous weapon, felon in possession of a firearm, and other felonies. His attorneys claim Adams has been diagnosed with a mental illness and asked the case be referred to mental health services for assessment. The victim is a gunshot wound to his leg. A 15-year-old Bay City girl remains hospitalized in critical condition after being shot October 22nd. The shooting occurred around 10:20 a.m. at a home in the 200 block of South Sherman Street. Police say a 15-year-old Saginaw teen, Ernest Olivo, had confessed to stealing a gun from the girl, with whom he had previously been in a relationship. Olivo claimed the gun went off accidentally. The girl was rushed to a local hospital. Olivo is being charged as an adult on 6 firearm-related charges, including discharge of a firearm inside a building causing injury. He's currently being held on a $100,000 bond. Holding auditions for the upcoming play By the Way, Meet Vera Stark. Auditions will be held November 20th at 1 p.m. and November 21st at 6 p.m. at Bay City Players at 1214 Columbus Avenue. Auditions are open to the public and newcomers are welcome. Those attending will do cold readings from the script. Scripts can be previewed prior to auditions by visiting during office hours Monday through Friday from 10 to 2. A $20 refundable deposit is required. WSGW News Time 9:07.
Do you have Medicare questions? Confused by all those TV ads? There are options available to you now through December 7th that you didn't have before. At Medicare Choices of Saginaw, they can put together a program copay plan. That's right, no copay. Their hybrid Medicare plan helps you save at least half of a Medicare supplement plan with no premium increases each and every year. Talk to Medicare Choices. It'll be the best call you ever made. Call 989-899-7820. Medicare Choices of Saginaw. Again, 989-899-7820.
Brunches, chef Date nights, happy hours. Moments like these are made possible by the COVID-19 vaccine.
My taste buds have missed this.
So let's savor this moment. Keep the dining out going. Keep the togetherness going by keeping vaccines up to date. Find your vaccine at michigan.gov. Sponsored by the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services and the Michigan Association of Broadcasters.
WSGW News Time, 9:08. The weather forecast is next. Police in suburban Detroit are seeking the driver of a pickup truck that struck another vehicle after finding the body of a woman in the bed of the truck. Roseville police say the driver fled the scene after the minor collision Thursday afternoon. Chief Ryan Monroe says that when officers opened the bed of the truck, they found a deceased person. He says police don't believe at this time that the deceased has anything to do with the accident, and they think the body was already in the back of the truck. Investigators believe they know who the driver was. Detectives have identified the woman as a 62-year-old who lived in Roseville. The official state Christmas tree will be harvested from St. John's today. Here's Heather Miller with States of Christmas Tree Harvest Crew.
State capital tree is coming from St. John's, Michigan. We're harvesting it from the small town and in St. John's, and it's going to be it's 63 foot tall blue spruce tree.
That was Heath Miller, who says the blue spruce was donated by Mary Ann and Caitlin Beck. He says it will be taken to the state capitol Saturday and decorated for the Silver Bells in the City celebration November 18th. Lottery players have a chance to win the second highest Powerball jackpot ever this weekend. The grand prize has grown to more than $800 million with a cash $83 million. There have been 36 drawings in a row with no grand prize winner. The biggest Powerball jackpot in history was over $1.5 billion in 2016, and 3 winning tickets shared that prize. When you see news happening, call the WSGW newsroom at 752-0790. It's 9:10. I'm Mike Percha.
Here's your meteorology forecast. Mostly sunny skies and light winds for today. High degrees. Tonight, mostly clear skies. Winds remain light. Fog becomes possible in parts of the area well after midnight towards Saturday morning. Lows drop to 33. Saturday, fog still possible in parts of the area before noon. Lots more sunshine otherwise. Highs approach 61, and winds will still be light. Saturday night, clear to partly cloudy skies. Winds stay light. Lows fall back to 38. Then back to 61 for a high temperature on Sunday with increasing clouds. I'm Phil Jensko with the WSGW Weatherology Forecast. Right now, it's 35.
Now, local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express around your block to around the world. The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com.
Well, good morning. Welcome to a Friday edition of the Art Lewis Show. Lots to do this morning. 10 o'clock, Jim Begic from Begic Nursery and Garden Center will join us to wrap up the year and tell you how you can prep your lawn for the winter and all that good stuff. For this hour, we're going to get your predictions. We're going to limit the discussion this morning. There is a game tomorrow between 2 universities in the state. One of them is Michigan, and the other is Michigan State. Who's going to win? And will it be a bludgeoning, or will it be a close game? Talk about that this morning. You can give us a call at 989-752-6111. Who wins between Michigan and Michigan State? Now, we already heard Pat's perfect predictions on Thursday. He expects a bludgeoning. He wasn't even close. I think he gave Michigan 41 points, and I don't remember how many Michigan State. Not many. If he's available, maybe he can drop in during the hour and fill us in. But the question is, do you want a close game that keeps your attention from the first kickoff till the very end, or if you are loyalist to one school or another, do you want a bludgeoning? The headline, there were a couple of headlines. I pulled some articles from the Detroit Free Press this morning. This one from Sean Windsor from the Detroit Free Press. His headline, Michigan football can no longer hide its contempt for Michigan State. Ain't it grand? And he starts out by saying, quote, nobody who cares about Michigan football or Michigan State football wants a close game Saturday night at the Big House. They want a bludgeoning. So if you love the maize and blue or the green and white, what's your preference? I think if I had a horse in the race, and I don't, other than the fact that we carry the University of Michigan here on WSGW, that's as close as I get to rooting for one or the other. I have a lot of friends in both that came out of both schools. I didn't go to school here, so I don't have a horse in the race. Actually, my one son went to Eastern Michigan University. So if I had any horse at all, it would be Eastern Michigan University. Now, so the question is, if you have a horse in the race, if you are a State fan or a Wolverine fan, do you want a close game that you eventually win, obviously, or do you want an all-out blowout? Which way would you like to see it happen? I believe if I had a horse in the race, obviously I'd want my horse to win, but I'd want a close game. I want it to be entertaining. By the way, Pat's busy at the moment, but hopefully in a few minutes, when he gets done doing what he's doing, he can join us for a little bit. But if I had a horse in the race, I would want an entertaining football game, close game, maybe even high-scoring close game, lots of action. But of course, I want my side to win, whichever side it is. Because there's really not a lot of fun in a blowout. If one team is so dominant that they run away with the game, what's the excitement? What do you really want to see? You know, when you think about it, entertaining games are close games. Back and forth, the lead changes hands. Maybe there's some fumbles and recoveries. Maybe there's some interceptions. Lots of scoring. But in the end, your team wins. The ideal situation. And that, to me, is exciting. I like football games. I have to tell you, first of all, I'm not an avid football fan. However, I have watched far more football in the last few years than I ever did before. And I don't know why. And I've watched U of M games. And again, that's mainly because of the affiliation here at WSGW. But the games I like are the games where there's lots of action both ways. And I have to tell you, I've watched some of the Lions games. Even though they've found a way to lose in the last minute of these games, seems to be their history, they're usually pretty good games to watch. Because you don't know what's going to happen. Well, yeah, the Lions, you do know what's going to happen at the end. But they're pretty good games to watch. So, questions on the table between Michigan and Michigan State University. Who's going to win tomorrow night's game, which you will hear on WSGW? And will it be a close game or will it be a blowout? All of you Wolverines fans and all you Spartan fans out there, and even those who are not from either school. What do you think is going to happen? It's been, I think it's dangerous to discount Michigan State University in this particular game. Now, yeah, they're off to a really not too good start, where the University of Michigan's undefeated and they got a great team, look great. I would not be so quick to blow off the Spartans, because history has told us that this game, they seem to come alive no matter what the rest of the season is doing. So it's going to be interesting, because Michigan State comes to town with a 3-4 record, 1-3 in the Big Ten. The Michigan Wolverines, ranked 4th in the nation, come in 7-0, 4-0 in the Big Ten. No losses. 7:30 Saturday night. Michigan has the advantage because it is at the Big House in Ann Arbor. And the Wolverines, folks, are favored by those that write these odds by 22.5 points. They don't even think it's going to be close, which is similar to what Pat Johnson predicted. So we'll take a look at some of the other factors going into the game. We're going to take a break first. And again, lines open for you. Who's going to win the big game, Michigan or Michigan State? Give us a call. Let us know what you think. We're getting close to the end of the month. You've heard me talking about your pets and Subaru, because Subaru Loves Pet Month goes on through Monday. Thalen Subaru at 4211 North Euclid Avenue in Bay City. And all this month, they're contributing $100 for every new adoption from the Humane Society of Bay County. You could give a fur baby its forever home. And the Subaru professionals at Thalen suggest you stop in to order the Subaru of your dreams, or see what Thalen has on its way. Subaru features SUVs like Crosstrek, Forester, Outback, and Ascent. Cars including the Impreza and the Legacy. And of course, if performance is your cup of tea, look at the BRZ and WRX. Now, you can find more information about it online at thinkthalen.com. But don't forget, Subaru Loves Pets going on all this month at Thalen Subaru. Adopt a pet this month, and Thalen will donate $100 to the Humane Society of Bay County. Thalen, been serving your automotive needs for over 45 years.
Michigan radical Kim Coonan's taking a page out of Biden's playbook. What's Coonan's game plan? Tax and spend as much as possible. As county commissioner, Kim on struggling families and increased spending by more than 300%. Coonan even supported a $2 trillion increase in government spending. And now, with prices increasing and inflation skyrocketing on Michigan families, the last thing we need in the State House is Kim Coonan continuing to call an all-out blitz on our pocketbooks. Michigan can't afford tax and spend radical Kim Coonan. But Timmy Beeson believes we deserve to keep our hard-earned cash. That's why Beeson is working to lower costs and stop the out-of-control inflation that's strangling our economy by reducing auto insurance costs and cutting taxes for struggling families so Michiganders can keep more of what they earn. Timmy Beeson for state representative.
Paid for with regulated funds by House Republican by Timmy Beeson.
I'm Neil Cavuto, and this is the Fox Business Report.
The latest readings on inflation indicate it is still rising, though off from the peak levels of this summer. The PCE price index rose 6.2% in the year ending in September. The core reading, excluding food and energy, rose 5.1%. The cost of everyday items from food to medical care continues to rise. Also, Americans were making more and spending more in September. Personal incomes rose 0.4%, spending up 0.6%. ExxonMobil Morning top forecast. Chevron's earnings also stronger than predicted. Is weighing on tech companies. It saw slower growth in its cloud business in the recent quarter, and Amazon is predicting slower holiday sales. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosolda, invested in you.
Democrats predicted an end to high inflation, but nothing has changed. In fact, food and housing prices are still going higher. Hi, this is Stephen K. Bannon, and I urge you to protect your savings from inflation by diversifying into a physical gold IRA from Birch Gold Group. Simply text the word shelter to 989898, and you'll get a free info kit on gold IRAs that will explain everything. Again, that's shelter to 989898. There's no obligation or purchase required.
First, we decide where we want to go. Then we need to know the best way to get there. Hi, my name's Adam Barata. I'm the owner of Advantage Gold. We're the highest rated precious metals firm. We teach people how to own physical gold and silver. Now, we've won the Best of TrustLink Award 4 years in a row because we educate our clients on how to buy gold and silver the right way. We don't pay celebrity spokespeople millions of dollars. We'd rather pass that value on to you. Call 800-900-8000 and speak with one of our free gold kit along with my latest #1 national best-selling book, The Great Devaluation. Call 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000. Get the best information, the best process, the best service, the best value. Call Advantage Gold at 800-900-8000. Call 800.
Advantage Gold is not an investment advisor or a tax advisor. Consult with your financial advisor before investing.
You have the chance to win a $1,000 gift certificate playing the WSGW Holiday Home Makeover Contest. You enter the contest online at WSGW.com. When you enter, you choose one of the participating businesses $1,000 gift certificate if you're drawn as the random winner. Businesses to choose include Bay Landscaping, Crane's L&M Appliance Center, Designer's Touch Decorating in Freeland, Hartel Heating and Cooling, Begic Nursery and Garden Center, Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery, Wolfiles Ace Hardware, Cluck Nursery, M&R Garage Doors and Openers, A Plus Plumbing, and West Side Decorating Center, Maple Hill Nursery, Roof Max, Reamer Plumbing, Heating and Air Conditioning, Delta Door Sales, Jolt Credit Union, Morse Clark Furniture. You can enter up to once per day and get bonus entries too. Look for the Holiday Home Makeover Contest box in the upper right-hand corner when you enter online.com.
On the next Markley Van Camp and Robbins show, it's the Friday Five, and it's going to be the greatest countdown ever. I just know it. I can feel it in my bones. A lot of pressure.
Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins. Weekdays at noon on 100.5 and 790. News Radio WSGW.
All right, we're back with you on the Art Lewis Show. This hour, talking about the big game. That is, of course, the University of Michigan and Michigan State. Tomorrow night, 7:30. You'll hear it right here on WSGW. Who's going to be winning and by what score? Let's talk to Mike in Saginaw. Mike, good morning.
Art. I would think maybe Michigan State would win, or I would hope they would win. But going back to the original question, do you want a tight score or not? Exciting game. And I'll tell you why. I really don't follow football all that much. I don't care for it, whether it's pro or college. And so if I met a friend and they've got it on the radio or on the television, I'm forced to watch or listen to it. I'd much prefer to have something that's tight and close.
Yeah, well, I agree. I absolutely agree with that. I think it makes a more exciting contest.
Yeah, you bet.
Absolutely. Blowouts to me are boring. You know, if somebody's going to be that good and blow out a team, why watch? You know what's going to happen. Go find something else. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
But
true.
The experts are not on our side. The experts, I pulled a couple of predictions. These are from the Detroit Free Press writers. Chris Solari says that it'll be Michigan 38, MSU 14. And Tony Garcia says that it's Michigan 37, MSU 19. So everybody, all the predictions I've seen are big blowouts.
Well, I wonder if they're making those kind of predictions because I think the Michigan coach tends to be a little more vocal about how much he wants to win than the Michigan State coach is.
No, actually, they base it on some kind of reasoning. I could tell you what they say. Chris Solari wrote, the emotions of the rivalry and hostile crowd propelled the Spartans to come out strong and counterpunch the Wolverines early. The game stays relatively close for a half, with Thorne evading pressure to extend plays, but U of M's advantages in the trenches wear down MSU in the third quarter. And the other one, Tony Garcia, since going 3-and-out to start the season, Michigan has scored points on its 6 other opening drives, 5 times scoring a TD. That trend will continue and set the tone for the game. So MSU has too much pride to get manhandled early and will be within 2 scores much of the way before a big change later in the game. So they're all looking for, they're looking for maybe a close first half and everybody gets to feel everybody out and then look out. So I don't know. We'll see. I mean, MSU has been a spoiler before. They've come to town and upended when they weren't supposed to.
Oh, well, I guess we'll just have to see.
Yeah, we will. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Good enough, Mike. Okay, appreciate it.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you, Art.
Bye-bye. All right, lines open for you. Who's going to win, Michigan or Michigan State? Come on, where are all you folks who bleed blue and bleed green? I know you're out there. I think the state folks probably are a little worried. Just a little. I mean, every prediction that I read, every single prediction that I read, I saw none that even gave MSU a chance. Not even a slight chance. And if you look at the records, obviously, MSU comes in 3-4 and Michigan 7-0. One might be tempted to say, yep, it's going to be a blowout, which is what all the prognosticators are saying. I just caution that, teams have a way of getting up for these big games. So even though the Spartans are 3-4, they're not going to be coming to the big house with a 3-4 mentality. They're coming to look to win. Let's talk to Kim in Bay City. Kim, good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
It seemed like no one else was calling in, so I had to call and give you a chuckle. I know for sure who is going to win. 100%.
For sure. All right. Well, who's that?
The team with the most.
Yeah. I knew that was coming, Kim.
Pretty sure they'll be amazing blue.
You think it's going to be amazing blue, huh?
Of course.
Yeah, obviously, if I were a prognosticator and that's what I did, and I looked at the records of the team and looked at the players on the team, you'd almost have to come to that conclusion because Michigan has done so well so far this year. So
would be the upset of the year, though.
Well, it certainly would, wouldn't it? It certainly
That's
would.
why they play the game.
That's exactly why, and Michigan State has done that before. So who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Who knows?
Yep.
So, but the one with the most.
Friday.
Hey, thank you, you too, and the one with the most points. That's the one's going to win.
Yep. That's the one. Always. Pat would be 100% if he just said that every time.
I'll tell that to him if he hasn't heard it already. All right.
Okay.
Bye-bye. You bet. Bye-bye now. Yeah, if Pat's, hey, guys at the station, if Pat's available, kind of drag him in and have him sit down. I want to talk to him about this game. But it is true that there's no love loss right now. I mean, it's just an open battle royal. But it's time to put up or shut up, as they say, But if I were Michigan, I would not take Michigan State lightly. When you go in overconfident is when you find yourself at the wrong end of a loss. So you really have to, you go in there with the fighting attitude that I'm going to win and I'm better. And, you get out there and you play your best game, because if you don't, look out. They sneak up on you. All right, we'll take a break. Lines are open for you. Who wins? Well, I'll tell you what, before we take the break, let's talk to Mark in Midland, then we'll take the break. Mark, good morning.
Good morning, Art. How are you?
Good.
Sir?
Who's going to win?
Well, I think Michigan's going to win. I hope they give the Paul Pelosi beatdown to Michigan State. I don't want to hear any couch burnings or anything like
no
that.
Politics. Just tell me the scores. That's all.
Sure. Hey, I think Michigan the low 50s, and State will probably squeak out maybe 23.
All right. So it'll still be a blowout then. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I feel Michigan's going to, you talk about long games. Watch baseball when the Guardians beat up the Tigers 15-0 or something. That's a long game.
Again, they're lopsided, though. I don't enjoy those. I mean, I like it when the score is 4-3 and somebody could do a walk-off in the ninth inning. That, to me, is exciting.
All right.
That, to me, is exciting.
No, I agree. I agree with that. Yeah.
All right.
Michigan, I think, is going to win.
All right. Good enough. Thanks.
Yep.
Take care. Let's talk to a sports expert, although I'm not sure about football. We say good morning to Craig Goslin. Goose, good morning to you.
Hey, good morning, Art. Hey, I got an opinion on the game tomorrow night, but the big game tomorrow night actually is against Mississauga.
Yeah, I knew that. As a matter of fact, there's two games this weekend. That one and Sunday.
There is, and at the Dow we got the Jerry Seinfeld there tomorrow night, and the Misa brothers are playing against each other. Of course, Michael Misa, the one-rated 15-year-old player in the world, could be one of the best players ever to put on an OHL uniform. On it, Mississauga was the first round pick too. So, but regarding the Michigan State game, I'm a football fan too, and if you look at how Michigan State played against Ohio State, Ohio State was ahead. I think it was 38-13 or something like that at halftime. And they could have scored 50 in the first half.
Yep.
They really took their foot off the gas. I can't see Michigan State getting even close in this game. I mean, I think there's a factor there with Michigan too.
Yeah, and I don't see Harbaugh. I don't see Harbaugh taking his foot off the gas. That ain't gonna happen.
Well, the way they got the college football ratings coming out, how badly they beat one of their rivals certainly plays a role, even though they say it doesn't.
Yeah,
it definitely plays a role.
Yeah,
and I just think it's. I think that Ohio State game against Michigan State leaves clues. And that was in East Lansing too, by the way. So this game is going to be in Ann Arbor.
Yeah.
That much of a chance this year.
No, I wouldn't think so either. But as I said before, though, Michigan State's been a spoiler in the past. You never know. And if you go in thinking you're going to just run them over and you don't take them seriously, that's when things can happen.
Well, it's like in our league too. I mean, sometimes people forget their kids, right?
Yeah.
And the same thing for Michigan State team. These are kids, right? And emotion plays such a big role in our league and also in any amateur sport. Emotion's a huge component. And, is Michigan going to take them lightly? I don't think so. But
I don't think so. I don't think so either.
I don't either.
All right. But anyways, I was going to say one more comment now. All right. If someone might be interested in getting tickets for either Saturday or Sunday to see the Saginaw Spirit, how might they do that?
Well, they're available at the Dow Venture box office. We got a lot of tickets available for these two games. And the opportunity tomorrow night to see the two Misa brothers play against each other.
And Sunday,
and responders night as well.
Yeah, and Sunday is Pink Out, and it's the first auction opportunity to bid on a Misa jersey. That should be interesting.
Absolutely. And Mr. Lewis will be doing the auction, which is that alone is worth buying a ticket.
Oh, give me a break.
But you get tickets at the Dow Venture box office. Come to the Saginaw Spirit store at 6321 State Street, or you can go online, SaginawSpirit.com, and get them there. But it's going to be a busy weekend in sports, and And I don't have in the race there with Michigan State, but I think that I think it's going to. So come to the Spirit game. We're going to have it on there too, by the way.
Oh,
so
good.
You can come
All
on
right.
there and watch it. Yeah, so we'll have the game on there. You can watch the first part of the game, see the blowout, and come back and watch the Spirit game.
There you go. All right, Goose.
See you, Art.
We'll talk to you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye now. Craig Goslin, President and Managing Partner of the Saginaw Spirit Hockey Club. And we'll be back. The line's open for you.
I have been a lifelong resident of Bay County, and I'm running for the 96th District House seat in Lansing. It has been a long campaign, and my opponent has gone negative. But here's the truth. I've been a county commissioner for 20 years. During that time, our savings and fund balance has nearly tripled. The county has no outstanding debt, and our pensions are fully funded. No other governmental entity has a better financial record than that.
Paid for by the committee to elect Kim Coonan, state representative.
Punch out breast cancer at Saguenay Eagles Landing. You can win big and help cancer awareness every Saturday in October. Drawings are 5 to 9 p.m. each. $5,000 cash. And at the end of the month, we're donating $10,000 to help the fight. It's all at Saguenay Eagles Landing Casino and Hotel. Real fun, real friendly. Visit Saguenay-EaglesLanding.com for continued.
RocketGrabPlus.com. This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is for Kokomo's. You are going to get a family fun package. The package includes a game card with $62.50 in credits, 2 12-inch single-topping pizzas, and 2 pops, plus 5 attractions. If you're looking for something fun to do with the family, one-stop shop. Head to RocketGrabPlus.com right now to snag your deal.
What's the best product I bought this year? Oh, that's easy. Salonpas pain relieving patches. The proven medicines in Salonpas patches reduce my pain and let me do the things I need to do every day.
In a recent clinic, using Salonpas reported improved sleep, mood, and the ability to work. They had less pain and were able to reduce their use of oral pain medications.
For pain, I use Salonpas. It's good medicine.
It's easy to think all money managers are pretty much the same, but at Fisher Investments, we're
From how? You sell high commission investment products, right?
no any commission-based investment products.
Well, you must earn commissions on trades.
Nope, never at Fisher. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in our client's best interest. It's the highest standard of care for a financial advisor.
How do you know what's in their best interest?
We get to know our clients and then tailor a portfolio based on their goals and needs.
But you probably sneak in some hidden and layered fees.
No, we have one transparent management fee structured so we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, you really do look out for your clients.
That's because our top priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. It might be why most of managers visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Clearly different money management.
Investments and securities involve the risk of loss.
First, we decide where we want to go. Then we need to know the best way to get there. Hi, my name's Adam Barata. I'm the owner of Advantage Gold. We're the highest rated precious metal. We teach people how to own physical gold and silver. Now, we've won the Best of TrustLink Award 4 years in a row because we educate our clients on how to buy gold and silver the right way. We don't pay celebrity spokespeople millions of dollars. We'd rather pass that value on to you. Call 800-900-8000 and speak with one of our. You a free gold kit along with my latest #1 national best-selling. Call 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000. Get the best information, the best process, the best service, the best value. Call Advantage Gold at 800-900-8000. Call 800-900-8000.
Advantage Gold is not an investment advisor or a tax advisor. Consult with your financial advisor before investing.
Misa right out front, backhand. He scores! We've got a weekend of Saginaw Spirit hockey here on WSGW. Tune in Saturday night when the Spirit hosts the Mississauga Steelheads with coverage starting at 6:50 p.m. Then come back and join us on Sunday evening when the Spirit take on the Ottawa 67s with pregame beginning at 5:15 p.m. on 100.5 FM News Radio WSGW. And for tickets for both games, visit SaginawSpirit.com.
Saginaw Spirit Hockey on WSGW. The WSGW Broadcasting Studios are sponsored by the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Showroom and Design Center in Midland.
Hi, we're back with you here on WSGW, asking you about the big game between the University of Michigan and Michigan State University this Saturday at 7:30. Who's going to win and by how much? Delmar is in Saginaw. Delmar, good morning to you.
Yeah, Art, thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
Just my own opinion. One is this big push of this anti-Semitic drive that's going on right now.
All right, we're not talking about that today. We're talking about U of M and MSU football, so save the politics for another day.
Well, it's not really politics, it's just racism.
Well, I'd say, okay, we're not talking about it, so we'll do it another day. But we will talk about it, but another day, Delmar. Thank you. Yeah, folks, I wanted to keep it on a lighter note today, and the MSU, some would say the Michigan MSU game is not a lighter note, but it is. But think about this. You know, we talk about the Spartans being the big underdogs here. They have won 10 of the last 14 games against Michigan. 2 years ago, Michigan was favored by a big score, and they lost. That's why I say don't come to the game feeling overconfident, because that's when you lose. Don't let the standings go to your head. Don't let the predictions go to your head. You've got to come in and play your best game. It's happened time and time again in sports where the underdog upsets the favored because the favored didn't take it seriously enough. So if you're a University of Michigan fan, you want to make sure your team comes in prepared, ready to go at their highest level. If you're a Spartan fan, you can take solace in knowing that your team in the past has actually surprised quite a few times. Let's talk to Vaughn in Bay City. Vaughn, good morning.
So being a U of M grad, you know where my allegiance lies.
Can't imagine.
I think our running game is big because we haven't had a good running game like that for a while. So I think that's a big part of the game. If we can control the line and get the running game going, I think we got a good chance.
I got to tell you, I watched this young man, this Corum. My goodness, can he carry the football?
Yep.
Woo! Yep. He's fun to watch.
Been there a few years. He's got a lot of moves. He keeps on driving. If you watch, after he gets tackled, he's still driving, keeps the legs moving, and sometimes he spins out of it. But yes, he's very good. And then Donovan Edwards been backing him up also. Our quarterback hasn't been tested a whole lot, so this could be the game where he has to do a little more than he's been doing so far. They pretty much safe passes, not a lot of long passing. So
but you know, when you're running games working, makes passing easier. It opens it up.
Yeah. I think he can do it. Watch him play against Georgia. Unfortunately, that wasn't too good of a football game the playoff last year. Hopefully, we can make it back again this year and do a little bit better than we did. That was
So who's going to let's tackle this one? Michigan and Ohio State. That's going to be a barn burner this year.
They will be out for revenge. I was at the game last year. It was probably the best game I've ever seen at the stadium. Everybody stood the whole game. It was snowing. And back and forth. So it was pretty intense. I'm sure Ohio State will be looking for some revenge.
Oh, I bet they will. You bet. All right, Vaughn.
Okay, thank you.
Got you down in the Michigan column. Thanks. Bye-bye. And Dan, hang on. We'll get to you next right after these notes.
I'm Jacob Hilliker, Bay County Road Commissioner. I believe we deserve more local road funding for the amount of taxes we pay downstate. We all know working people in Bay County have always had to shout a little louder to be heard in Lansing. That's why I'm here. I'm a proud union member, business owner, and I operate a small farm. I don't have time for the national partisan nonsense of the week. I'm here to do a job. Vote Hilliker. Paid for by Jacob Hilliker for Bay County.
We're proud to make Pioneer proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer sugar, whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners. It's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer sugar, pure and all natural, made from sugar beets grown right here. What could be sweeter than that?
Let's face it, credit cards are pretty much a necessity.
New tires for the car? Here's my card.
I order takeout, here's my card. And most of us just accept the high interest rates credit cards charge as a necessary evil.
What are you going to do?
Get a card consolidation loan from Lightstream from $5,000 to $100,000 and pay off those credit card balances. Apply online and you could get your money as soon as the day you apply. The average credit card company charges over 19% APR. But with Lightstream, you can get a fixed rate as low as 6.99% APR with autopay and excellent credit.
Now I can pay off my high-interest credit cards and save money with a much lower rate.
Apply today at lightstream.com/radio and get an additional interest rate discount. That's lightstream.com/radio. Lightstream.com/radio.
Subject to credit approval. Rates range from 6.99% APR to 21.49% APR and include 0.5%. Excellent credit terms and conditions apply, and offers are subject to change without notice. Visit lightstream.com/radio for more information.
You want to be a showstopper like The Miz? You want to be awesome? Then you'll want to have a game plan. Whether you're a champion or a bettor, you've got to be responsible. The DraftKings Sportsbook offers all the tools you need. You can set a realistic budget and bet within your means. You can set time, deposit, and wager limits so you can have a personal game plan for having fun while being responsible. I practice safe bets, and so should you. Visit DraftKings.com/responsible-gaming to learn about all these tools and more.
Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/responsible gaming for details and state-specific responsible gambling resources.
RocketGrabPlus.com. This week's .com is for Kokomo's. You are going to get a family fun package. The package includes a game card with $62.50 in credits, 2 12-inch single topping pizzas, and 2 pops, plus 5 attractions. If you're looking for something fun to do with the family, Kokomo's is your one-stop shop. Head to RocketGrabPlus.com right now to snag your deal.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
I'm Dr. Stork. Why give your family just ordinary eggs when Eggland's Best? The only eggs with more fresh and delicious taste, plus superior nutrition compared to ordinary eggs, with 6 times more vitamin D, 10 times more vitamin E, 25% less saturated fat, and 38% more lutein. Because the way we care is anything but ordinary. Only Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Trying to find when and where you can hear the Tigers, Red Wings, Michigan football, and hockey and SDSU football on WSGW? Just click on the sports broadcast box on WSGW.com for complete game time listings. That's WSGW.com.
All right, we're back with you, and phone's locked and loaded. Let's get back to him. Dan is in Bay County. Dan, good morning to you.
Good morning, Mark. We have looked at this game and watched some of the games in the past this year. Many analysts think that Michigan has the number 1 offensive line in the country. When I've seen their running game and what they've done with a couple of their backs, Corum and their other back, I think it's going to make it a long day for Michigan State unless they get a break early and get ahead early. Otherwise, I think they're going to slam the ball down their throat with their running game and maybe little passes. And then they got Ronnie Bell out there for the wide receiver, is one of the top receivers in the country.
Yeah, in terms of
speed has been coming on, but they started out really bad, and their expectations have been high. They're finally playing a little bit better, so maybe they'll give them a run for a little part of the game.
Yeah.
I think the game's going to be about 37-20.
All right.
Because it's a rivalry. I think it's going to be a semi-blowout, not a complete blowout, but
gotcha.
That's where I stand on it.
All right, sounds good. Appreciate the call. Thanks, Dan. Take care.
Bye.
Joe is in Bay City. Joe, good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Ask me who I'm rooting for.
Who are you rooting for?
I'm one of the rare birds here in Michigan. I want Michigan State and Michigan always to win. Comes to the season, I'm rooting for the team that can go the farthest in the country. And this year, guess who's got the chance this year? Now,
Yeah,
Michigan State. I'd be rooting for Michigan State. So, whoever's got the best chance to go further, that's the team I'm rooting for.
So so I assume you're rooting for Michigan this year.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But let's go back a few years real quick here when I played Michigan State and they had the game won, and that was the one that all they had to do was pump the ball.
Yep.
I remember they blocked it, scored the touchdown, and won that game. Michigan State just played their heart out in that game, and that freaky play screwed them.
That's right. That's why you can't take it lightly. All right.
And that's why I fully expect every time they play that Michigan's going to do something freaky to cause them to lose a game.
Oh,
they
no.
should win big. Yeah, they should win big, but I'm expecting something freaky to happen.
All right. Good enough. We'll be looking and listening.
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay.
All righty.
Have a good one.
You too, Joe. Bye. Gordon is in Saginaw. Gordon, good morning to you.
Well, I'm rooting for Michigan State. I pumped a lot of money in there sending kids there, so I still need to get my money's worth. I think have a serious issue to play for. Michigan State, I think they want to show that they're better than their performance this year, and what better place to do that is this game.
Absolutely.
So I think they're gonna play their hearts out on this thing. And U of M, their issue is, my God, we don't want to lose to Michigan State this year. Can you imagine how you can never live that down this year? But the thing is that sometimes U of M, they can be a little smug about their abilities, and if they don't, as serious as this is, State can they can creep up on them.
Yeah,
I don't know what the score is going to be, but I think it's going to be closer than everybody thinks.
Well, I hope it is, because then you got a good game to watch.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, if it's a blowout from the beginning, what fun is it? It really takes it away. But
yeah, that's no fun. I mean, I'm a big baseball guy, and the guy before said, "Well, what about the Guardians beating Tigers?"
Yeah, right.
But that was a boring game.
Yeah, it was. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I mean, some of those Philadelphia.
I watched the last 4 innings of the 18-inning game, and I was on the edge of my seat waiting to see who was going to win. And that.
You're right. Yeah, you're right. I got to go to bed, but I can't.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
I cannot watch it. And
that's so true.
You're right. I hope it's close, because that way it's a good game, and you spend 3 hours exciting. It's just like the Super Bowl. It's always the most boring game you can.
Yeah, it's overhyped.
And fight each other.
Well, and it's overhyped. It's overhyped. It's way too much. So, all right.
So,
all right,
so
Gordon.
This is a major issue in Michigan here.
All right.
Weekend.
All right, buddy.
All right.
Thanks for calling. Take care. Bye-bye now. We'll be back to close out the hour after these notes.
Virginia, Kansas, Berkeley, Ventura, San Francisco, San Diego, Oakland, and Grand Junction, Little Rock, Springfield, Maryland, and Washington. Paul Young has been everywhere, man. But he hasn't spent a lot of time in Michigan. Paul Young has been away from Michigan for nearly 40 years, living in California and all around the country for decades. Now he's spending his fortune to buy a congressional seat here in mid-Michigan. Paul Young has an agenda in Congress, and it's not ours. Young's agenda would give tax breaks to millionaires like himself while raising taxes on the middle class and putting Medicare and Social Security at risk. And Young is on the side of wealthy drug companies against lower prescription prices for families and seniors. Paul Young is not from here, and he's definitely not for us. Paid for by House Majority PAC, theHouseMajorityPAC.com. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. House Majority PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
We all know clean fields lead to strong yields. That's why XtendFlex soybeans offer triple tolerance to dicamba, glyphosate, and glufosinate to control more weeds system, even tough weeds like water hemp, Palmer amaranth, and mare's tail. Get the control, flexibility, and proven performance you need so you can focus on the business at hand instead of beating back weeds. Explore the Roundup Ready Extend crop system at systemofchoice.com. Claim based on approved EPA herbicide labels as of January 2021. Read and follow pesticide label directions, grain marketing, and other stewardship practices.
I think farming picked me. I didn't pick farming. I'm not afraid to try something new. It's my farm, my family, and our future. My channel Seedsman gets that. I get access to innovative products with personalized advice backed by data to maximize my yield potential. With Channel, I know I'll prosper for years to come.
Define your future at channel.com/future. Read and follow pesticide label directions, IRM, grain marketing, and other stewardship practices. Copyright 2022 Bayer Group. All rights reserved.
Michigan football is on WSGW.
He's got a hole. One man to beat. He cuts inside. He's in the clear. Touchdown. Donovan Edwards. 67 yards. Inside handoff, Corum. Big hole. He's in the clear, John. To the 30. Can he win the race to the end zone? He can.
How about that? All right. After pummeling Penn State, the Michigan Wolverines remain undefeated and keep getting better by the week. But next up, in-state rival Michigan State will try to play spoiler when the Spartans invade the Big House under the lights on Saturday, October 29th. Coverage begins at 6:30 p.m. on 790 News Radio WSGW. Michigan football is brought to you by Simulmatic Irrigation Solutions, Schaefer and Beerline, Ram Truck and Frankenmuth, Lingle Equipment Company, Wolf Isles, Ace Hardware in Saginaw, and North Bloomfield Properties. It's number 4 Michigan versus Michigan State live Saturday night, October 29th at 6:30 on 790 News Radio WSGW.
Your home for Michigan Wolverines football is WSGW.
All right. That'll do it for this hour. Coming up next hour, Jim Begic from Begic Nursery and Garden Center will be joining us to talk about lawn and garden questions that you may have. And then on Focus, we'll have open phones again. So that's what's happening this morning. We'll be back right after the news.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez in New York. We learned just this past hour House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's husband is being treated after a brutal attack at the couple's home in San Francisco. Correspondent Stephen Portnoy has the details.
The Speaker's office says the 82-year-old investor was violently assaulted after a break-in. Paul Pelosi is being hospitalized and is expected to make a full recovery. A spokesman says the assailant is in custody and the motive for the attack is under investigation. As she is second in line to the presidency, the House Speaker is protected around the clock by Capitol Police. But aides say Nancy Pelosi was not home in San Francisco at the time of the attack.
Pelosi made headlines earlier this year when he served 2 days in jail in a drunk driving crash in Napa Valley. President Trump's just weighed in on Elon Musk's reported purchase of Twitter. Mr. Trump says he's happy Twitter is in sane hands, but also says he loves Truth, as in Truth Social, his own platform. Reports say Musk has fired several top executives already, including the person who banned the former president from Twitter. More from CBS's Naomi Rockham.
Analysts say it's not entirely surprising that Elon Musk would clean house, but this normally takes months or years, not right away, not day one. This is yet another signal that Musk believed the company was poorly run and wanted to change fast.
As you dug deep to fill your gas tank, oil companies were making record profits. ExxonMobil, for one, chalked up more than $19 billion in profits in the third quarter and $112 billion in revenue. That's more than double last year's take. There were fears of another collapse when residents of Miami Beach high-rise were evacuated last night over structural concerns. Marash Markash lives at the Port Royale.
Water came inside of the building, was staying there for a long, couple of days.
Engineers are focusing on a damaged support beam in the building's garage. Last year, 100 people were killed in a condo collapse just blocks away. Officials in Hawaii are warning a spike in earthquakes at the top of the world's largest volcano. Mauna Loa on the Big Island is a signal it may erupt. Local Lynn Adams wants to know,
what is their plan for another type of mass exodus? Because that is what will happen. I mean, people
are going to panic. Scientists say an eruption is not imminent. In the market for a new job, LinkedIn has released a list of top 20 skills employers are looking for. The website's Catherine Fisher.
Problem solving, communication, leadership. Companies want to know that you can do, like, they assume that you can do the job and they can test you with this in interviews, like with writing skills, etc.
The Dow up 414 points. This is CBS News.
You need to hire? Indeed is with you every step of the way, helping you attract, interview, and hire candidates all from one place. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
You have a family doctor. Do you have a family plumber? When you have a plumbing, heating, or cooling problem happen in your home or business, you need to be able to call a professional that you can rely on and trust to make the repair or equipment replacement. Reamer Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning has been the professional homeowners and businesses trust for 65 years. Whether you're looking for an emergency water heater replacement or planning a new heating system installation, you can trust Reamer Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning to provide quality service and installation. Reamer has the equipment to fit every budget, experienced estimators, and state licensed technicians to install. Trust a professional to do the job right. Call Reamer Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning. Visit them on the web at reamerplumbing.com.
Any way you spell it, Reamer means quality.
Democrats predicted an end to high inflation, but nothing has changed. In fact, food and housing prices are still going higher. Hi, this is Stephen K. Bannon, and I urge you to protect your savings from inflation by diversifying into a physical gold IRA from Birch Gold Group. To see how it works, simply text the word safeguard to 989898, and you'll get a free info kit on gold IRAs that will explain everything. Again, that's safeguard to 989898. There's no obligation or purchase required.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're speaking another language. Like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right. And they're just language teachers, so you learn how to have real-world conversations, things you'll actually use.
3 weeks. It's incredible. After 3 weeks, I'm on vacation in Paris, having a conversation in French.
There's all kinds of ways to learn. Use Babbel's podcasts or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Babbel. Évidemment. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL. Babbel.com.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom. This is WSGW News.
Mostly sunny skies and 38 degrees at 10:05. Good morning, I'm Mike Percha. An armed gunman was taken into custody in Bay City around 5 p.m. yesterday after a nearly 4-hour standoff with police. Police were attempting to serve an arrest warrant and an eviction notice at an apartment in the 200 block of Garfield Avenue when the man threw things at officers and brandished a shotgun. Officers reached. The man had previously pulled a knife on an official who had tried to evict him from the apartment earlier in the week. Bay City Department of Public Safety, Michigan State Police Emergency Services Team, and the Bay County Sheriff's Department kept a perimeter around the area for most of the afternoon, taking the suspect into custody with minor injuries. No officers were injured in the incident. November is Lung Cancer Awareness Month, and Ascension Hospitals in mid-Michigan are offering no-cost, low-dose CT screening of the lungs. The events will be held at Ascension Hospitals in Saginaw, Standish, Grand Blanc, and Tawas City. According to the American Lung Association, lung cancer is the leading cause of cancer death over the age of 50, exceeding colon, breast, and prostate cancers combined. If detected early, over 80% of lung cancer deaths can be prevented. The screenings are available at no cost to people between the ages of 50 and 77 years old who are currently a smoker or have quit within the past 15 years. Also, anyone who smoked at least 20 packs of cigarettes per year. Cost of follow-up care is the patient's responsibility either through insurance or self-pay. Registration is not required but is suggested. To find your nearest Ascension location, visit healthcare.ascension.org for registration information. WSGW News Time 10:07.
Are you ready for retirement? Great Lakes Investment Advisors have a new book that can help make retiring easier. In Empower Your Retirement, they talk about how a well thought out financial plan can make the difference between just surviving and thriving in retirement. Using everyday language, this book explores how a simple process can help you cover all the bases of your financial life, including how taxes can affect your retirement and much more. Your finances are too important to leave to chance. Empower Your Retirement is written to help you understand the must-dos to prepare for the retirement you desire. Get your free copy of Empower Your Retirement by calling 989-848-1188. That's 989-848-1188. Retirement planning, tune into Jason and Carl's radio show, Your Financial Empower Hour, every Sunday morning at 8. Firm provides insurance services, investment advisory services offered by Great Lakes Investment Advisors, Inc., a registered investment advisor firm in the state of Michigan. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal.
WSGW News Time 10:08. The weather forecast is coming up. The judge in West Michigan is hearing evidence to determine if a police officer will stand trial for second-degree murder in the death of a black motorist last April. Patrick Lyoya was on the ground when he was shot in the back of the head following a traffic stop by Christopher Schur. Schur's lawyers says it was self-defense following a short foot chase and physical struggle. Wayne Butler witnessed the struggle, which he described as wrestling. Butler says Schur always had the upper hand as he tried to subdue Lyoya. He did not witness the shooting. The officer was yelling for Lyoya to let go of his taser. Schur has been fired by the Grand Rapids Police Department. Halloween is just days away. Little ghosts and goblins will be out trick-or-treating, so the importance of playing it safe while driving cannot be overstated. According to Michigan auto law, the most dangerous time of day for pedestrians is between 6 and 9 p.m., which is prime. Todd Berg of Michigan Auto Law talks about car-related pedestrian deaths in the state.
Unfortunately, the current numbers for 2021 were 183 pedestrian deaths in Michigan. And that is the highest number for any single year for the last 10 years. It's up 22% from 2019, and it's up 37% from 2012.
The number of those deaths has reached a 10-year high. When you see news happening, call the WSGW Newsroom at 752-0790. It's 1010. I'm Mike Percha.
Here's your WSG forecast. Mostly sunny skies here for today with a high into the upper 50s. Winds out of the southeast between 5 and 10 miles per hour. And then for tonight, mostly clear skies, a low near 33. Saturday, sunshine, a high of 61 degrees. Then by Sunday, mostly cloudy skies, a high around 61. Monday, mostly cloudy, high around 60 degrees. Then by Tuesday, sunshine, a high around 64. Wednesday, mostly sunny skies, a high around 63 degrees. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with the WSGW Weatherology Forecast. Currently, it's 38.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions from around your block to around the world. The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com.
And welcome back to hour number 2 of the Art Lewis Show here on WSGW. For this Friday, we are expecting to hear any moment from Jim Begic at Begic Nursery and Garden Center. And as soon as we do, we'll get the conversation started about things that are coming up to the end of the growing season and what might be ahead. And we say good morning to Jim Begic. Jim, thanks for calling. Good morning.
Yeah, I'm here. How you doing?
I'm doing well. All right, I want to start with the lawn because that's the biggest probably thing we all have growing around our homes. Here we are, the end of October already. Is it too late now to do anything to your lawn?
Hey, actually, no. If as long as there's no frost on the ground, you can get out and put some weed controls on the lawn, and actually it'll cut down drastically in the amount of weed growth they have first thing in the springtime. It acts very, very slowly, but it does work, and it really will show up next spring when everybody else got a lawn full of dandelions and you don't.
So let me ask about weed control: dry product or wet product?
Well, it's always a little bit better if it's a liquid product because it coats the leaves better. And as you and I have discussed before, using a little bit of a surfactant or an agent that helps it coat the leaves really does help you stay on there, and the plants can ingest it a little bit better and take care of the problem. And it's really true of the smaller leafed weeds like the clovers, ground ivies, and so forth. So it helps if it has on there, otherwise the material rolls off. The dry forms are good for broadleaf weeds like dandelions and plantain, anything where the stuff can sit on top of it for a while, but it's not as effective on the smaller leaves.
And what about fertilizers? Are we beyond the point now?
No, not really. Especially if you haven't done much of it at all. Fall fertilizations are wonderful. You want to see if you can. Well, most fall fertilizers that are labeled as fall fertilizers will have a greater amount of potassium in it than normal, and than they normally would, and that's great because it really beefs up the root zones and makes the grass blades nice and strong. It really increases the thickness of the cell walls in the plant, so it's very healthy. I'm a great believer in it.
Is it a slow release type?
Oh yeah, it always should be. You should have something that's at least a 50%, has at least 50% coating, the sulfur coating on it, such coating on it, so it does release it rather slowly. Farm fertilizers, while they'd be fairly safe to use in cool situations like this, they don't last very long. And you want something that's going to be there that will give you some early, mid, and late release on it, so it doesn't come all at once.
And last lawn question, and probably a critical one to a lot of people, is reseeding. Are we beyond that point now? I know September's always been good, but what about late October and early November?
Well, yeah, you're not going to get a lot of germination. You can go ahead and overseed and incorporate it with the soil as much as you can, and the seed won't die. It's not going to freeze, lose just a minute percentage, 1%, 2% max over the course of the winter, and it'll be there in the springtime. The soil temperatures for germination really need to be about 50, 55 degrees for good germination. The soil temperatures at about 45 or so forth, you'll get some germination, but it won't be all that great. But if you have an area that's tough to get to in the springtime, go ahead, get it done while you've got ground conditions that are good for working the ground a little bit.
And that's my next question: is what do you have to do to properly seed? We say overseed. Some people may just think you take a handful of seed and throw it around. It takes a little more than that, doesn't it?
Well, it does. The thing is, if you throw seed on a hard pan area that's been packed down, there's a greater risk of it just, washing away or the birds pecking at it. But you want to try and loosen that as much as you can, at least in the first half inch or so that the seed gets incorporated with the soil just a little bit. I call it biting in a little bit more. So once it does germinate, the roots got something to root into. That's important. That's why, sometimes taking in certain situations, taking a power rake or a thatcher over the top to actually loosen that soil on top and open it up a little bit more is drops down. It's got something to grow in.
I want to talk about moles for a minute because, we're getting into the colder weather and the moles are going to start going deep. So this is certainly not the time to go after them. But when can you start going after the moles?
Well, first thing in the spring, they when it starts getting a little bit warm outside, as well as I do that they'll get active after a long winter. And, they come late March, you'll see some burrowing. And as soon as you see that telltale signs of that little humpback ridge running through your lawn or the little piles of soil where they emerge, active and find those active runways and then get some of those, get some of the poison baits like the worms. The Tomcat has a good one, and that does a good job of taking care of them.
Yeah. All right, let's talk to Carol in Sheridan. Carol, you're on with Jim Begic. Good morning.
Good morning, everybody. I've got a really quick tip for people who have deer that scrape into their ornamental trees. If you just take like a mire or any of the shot plastic bags and just tie it around that tree, the deer don't bother it.
Really?
That's an interesting.
The rattling and the noise.
Must be. Interesting idea.
It's white and big and but they, a lot of times you go out there and here you got a pretty tree and sometimes they're like 10 foot from our house.
Yeah.
But it works really well. And then after, they get done scraping, near the end of the year, just, throw them in the wastebasket.
All right.
Well, thanks.
Good luck, Carol. It works really well. It really does.
Excellent. All right. Good tip.
Okay.
Thanks.
You guys take care. Yeah,
Bye-bye.
bye-bye.
And there are a lot of those, the home tips that that work when you're trying to repel animals and things of that nature.
Oh yeah, there are all kinds of people who've had experiences that have worked quite well, and I'm always interested in hearing them because hey, if it's working for you, it's going to work for other people too. And I don't have my ear to the rail on all those home remedies all the time, so it's fun to listen to them.
But they're so simple. I mean, tie a white plastic bag around a tree, and it's amazing. It's amazing.
That and or hanging certain types of soap out there.
Oh yeah. Yep.
I've heard of that, but then again, after it rains, the soap starts to dissolve away.
All right.
So it's one of those things.
Lines open for you, folks. If you have any questions about things growing around your house or should be growing around your house, give us a call, 989-752-6111. Talk to Jim Begic from Begic Nursery and Garden Center, Westside Saginaw Road in Bay City. We'll be back with him after these notes.
I'm Jacob Hilliker, Bay County Road Commissioner. I believe we deserve more local road funding for the amount of taxes we pay downstate. We all know working people in Bay County have always had to shout a little louder to be heard in Lansing. That's why I'm here. I'm a proud union member, business owner, and I operate a small farm. I don't have time for the national partisan nonsense of the week. I'm here to do a job. Vote Hilliker. Paid for by Jacob.
Roll them bones and win up to $1,000 cash. Fridays in October, come out to Saginaw Eagles Landing for scary good prizes and thrilling fun. Drawings are every hour from 12 to 8 p.m. for a chance to roll them bones and win big. Let the prizes roll in this October at Saginaw Eagles Landing Casino and Hotel. Real fun, real friendly. Visit saginaw-eagleslanding.com for complete rules and details.
Because the challenges you face are getting bigger every year, BASF is committed to helping with more than boots on the ground. We're committed to boots in the mud, boots on the steps of your truck, your tractor, the linoleum tiles of your coffee shop, the concrete of your co-op, the gravel in your shed. So we can listen, learn firsthand, help right now to ensure success. BASF, helping you do the biggest job on earth.
Living with metastatic breast cancer can be overwhelming.
When I received my diagnosis, I didn't need anyone to tell me I was strong. What I needed was more time.
Verzenio, abemaciclib, 150 milligram tablets plus fulvestrant is for HR-positive, HER2-negative metastatic breast cancer that has progressed after hormone therapy. In a clinical study, women taking Verzenio in combination with fulvestrant lived significantly longer for a median of 46.7 months versus 37.3 months on fulvestrant alone. Diarrhea is common, may be severe, or cause dehydration or infection. Start an anti-diarrheal and drink fluids. Before taking Verzenio, tell your doctor about any fever, chills, or other signs of infection. Verzenio may cause low white blood cell counts, which may cause serious infection that can lead to death. Life-threatening lung inflammation can occur. Tell your doctor about any new or worsening trouble breathing, cough, or chest pain. Serious liver problems can happen. Symptoms include fatigue, appetite loss, stomach pain, and bleeding or bruising. Blood clots that can lead to death have occurred. Tell your doctor if you have pain or swelling in your arms or legs, shortness of breath, chest pain, and rapid breathing or heart rate. Common side effects include nausea, infections, low blood cells and platelets, decreased appetite, headache, abdominal pain, fatigue, vomiting, and hair thinning or loss. Tell your doctor about all your medical conditions and medications you take, and if you're a nurse, pregnant, or plan to be pregnant.
Strength is one thing. The chance to spend more time with the people I love, that's everything.
With Verzenio, more time is possible. Ask your doctor if Versenio.com or 1-844-837-9364. Versenio is available by prescription only.
I'm Stuart Varley, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stocks opened mixed and turned higher. ExxonMobil and Chevron's quarter's top forecasts. Amazon shares are skidding, though, after predicting disappointing holiday sales. Apple shares are higher. Its overall quarter was better than expected. The Commerce Department's PCE index indicates inflation rose 6.2% in the year ending in September. The core reading, excluding food and energy, also remains 5.1% annual pace. Twitter shares are higher after Elon Musk's takeover was completed. Musk is now CEO after firing the company's top executives, though the Wall Street Journal says golden parachute agreements could cost Twitter more than $200 million. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
Hi, I'm Lisa Booth for Bishop Gold Group. Federal Reserve recent announcements is putting the country on course for a deep recession. That means wild swings in the markets and high inflation will continue savings at risk. Protect the money you worked so hard to save for retirement by investing in gold. Let Bishop Gold Group show you how tangible gold investments can help secure your future. Dial pound 250 from a mobile phone and say the keyword Bishop Gold or visit bishopgoldgroup.com.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
The WSGW Morning Team. WSW online poll for statewide ballot. With the election day again being November 8th, this is a statewide proposal focused on voting. Among the listings on your ballot, you will see that include recognizing fundamental rights to vote without harassing conduct, to require military or overseas ballots to be counted if postmarked by Election Day, to provide voter rights to verify identity with photo ID or signed statements, require 9 days of early in-person voting, require canvass boards to certify election results based only on the official records of votes cast, and there are a couple more too. But the proposal itself reads this way: a Constitution to add provisions regarding elections, which may seem kind of vague. It almost seems
Needs a little bit more explanation.
Yeah. Anyway, but we present it because this is the way you're going to face it on your ballot. So the poll question: should proposal 2 be adopted? Yes or no? You head to WSW.com. You can scroll down the homepage. You'll find a poll box, and you can make your vote that way.
The Morning Team, weekdays 5:30 till 9 on WSGW.
And we're back with you here on WSGW, chatting with Jim Begic from Begic Nursery and Garden Center about things that grow outside, or should be growing outside anyway, although this time of year they won't be growing very much. There is a debate on lawns about rolling and not rolling. Where do you stand on it, Jim?
The thing on rolling is it's a mixed bag. In one area, in one way, you want a lawn to be aerated and breathing well, and if you compress it and roll it, then you're packing it back. The other thing is that when you roll, the timing's got to be just right. If you're thinking about taking some minor lumps out of the soil, because it's only going to take lumps down that are at most 1 inch high. And when you have to have enough moisture in the ground to make sure it compresses and soft enough. But it can't be so wet that you're going to get yourself mired in from all the weight in the roller. And then if it's too dry, all you're going to do is bounce over the top of it. So, if it's on a large scale, I guess rolling can be okay, but you better follow it up with some aeration right after that, with coring and things like that. If you have a small that's 15,000 square feet or less, sometimes those fine lumps that come up from earthworms and things like that, you take a power thatcher over the top and you set it the right way, it'll grind that surface up and sift that soil right back down. And if you go 2 directions, it does a pretty good job of smoothing things out. But rolling's not going to take out a rut that's 2 inches deep, or a bump that's 2 inches high.
Yeah.
So it's like I said, it's kind of a mixed bag.
All right, let's talk to Al in Midland. Al, you're on with Jim Begic. Good morning.
Good morning, Art, and good morning, Jim.
Hi.
Hey, on your health I saw an article on 101 uses for Irish Spring. If you take a cheese grater and grate the Irish Spring soap and toss the shavings under the decks, skunks don't like it.
Oh yeah, well, yeah.
And I suspect you can probably throw some of those shavings in the gopher holes and things like that. If skunks don't like them, I imagine the gophers and the moles don't like that smell either.
Well, I can't really vouch for it one way or the other. I haven't done any scientific background on this is concerned, but with moles, the thing here is that they will make themselves new tunnels. If they find something that they find distasteful, and they'll just turn another direction and go another direction. So in one way, you're trying to they find out what the active runways are so you can treat them or kill them, if you will. And if you turn them away, they may just end up doing more damage. So you got to be careful what you wish for.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah. Well, I just thought the Irish Spring was a cheap alternative to.
Well, I've heard that it works. I heard it works for skunks under the deck and things like that, but I wouldn't go after moles or anything like that with it.
I just thought it was an interesting thing on the home remedies. Yeah, I'd be a little cautious about the white trash bags, though, because crows like those. They have apparently learned, and crows are very smart, they have learned that white trash bags mean kitchen scraps and food items. And when they see white trash bags, they go and tear it into bits.
All right.
They're looking for food. So my dad had a pet crow, so he knows about crows.
Good enough. All right, Al. Gotcha.
Have a nice morning.
Thanks.
And a nice weekend.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye now.
Yeah, that's one thing about home remedies is you don't know what what's the unintended consequence.
Well, yeah, and that's true. I mean, but I got to tell you something. We have a lot of fine friends that have belong to those societies and so forth. And I learned a long time ago when we would do a little presentation to the Rosarians, and they've been growing roses for their own methods. Don't argue with them.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah, because they found some things they found some things that work, and all I do is say, just share it with us, and you've done that, Art, for years.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I listened to the messages.
Absolutely. So a lot of these ideas, there was a concoction using eggshells and something like that under a porch to keep skunks away. So there are lots of home remedies out there. I just think you have to be careful how you use them.
Well, like there was an old friend, Dr. Dardis, who was a customer of ours for years, one of the Dardis doctors, and he used to laugh about using repellents in the garden to keep rabbits and squirrels and things away, and it was extracts from wolf urine. And he said, "Oh, the heck with that! I'm just going to use my own."
Did it work?
You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised how well it worked.
Well,
eat a little extra garlic.
Let's get back to something more serious.
Okay.
Let's talk about transplanting. Is this the time to do it, or are we beyond that now because of the temperatures coming down?
Well, no, actually, it's a good time. I mean, if you're planting things in burlap and in pots, in a nursery situation, you're not disturbing the roots at all. In fact, it's a great time. The soil temperatures are cooler. The roots are still growing. The tops are dormant, and they've slowed down their processes. So it's a great time. It's still most of the plants, by a couple. When you get done planting and even transplanting, there are some things that are, you can still, wonderful time to put bulbs in right now. You can transplant some perennials, still right about now. And, very, very easily. There are some exceptions, especially when it comes to trees. They don't like to be moved in the fall or dug in the fall. But a lot of plants can very easily be moved with these cool temperatures because they don't have transpiration through the leaves. You're not losing a lot of water on the deciduous plants through the leaves. So, a lot of times they don't even know what hit them.
You mentioned this is a good time to plant bulbs. How far down do you plant them? And do you have to treat them with anything when you put them in the ground, fertilizer or anything like that?
Well, yeah. The easiest way, most things are anywhere from 4 to 6 inches deep. Okay, and when it comes to bulbs, corms and so forth, the little capsulated types of root crops, they're a little bit different. They're only, they're tiny. They're only 3/4 of an inch. And you'll put those down 4 to 5 inches too. But standard on a tulip or a daffodil or a narcissus bulb is you go about 3 times the length of the bulb itself. That's the easiest way to remember it. And measure the bulb roughly, and you don't have to be exact. But if it's an inch, if it's an inch and a half from top to bottom, then you put it down about 4.5 to 5 inches deep, and make sure the pointy side goes up. And then, as far as fertilizing is concerned, we have bulb boosters that are formulated for root growth and not top growth. And also, the old standby is bone meal, and bone meal does a wonderful job too because it's all organic and it's a repellent for squirrels. It's a natural repellent for squirrels. So putting that down there to assist them, cover them back up, tamp them down lightly, and
really all there is to it, huh?
That's really all there is to it. Just figure about 3 times. If you go too deep on some of these bulbs, they're going to have a hard time emerging in the springtime.
Yeah.
And they might send up some foliage, but they won't develop the blossoms.
Yeah.
I like early and mid-season tulips because that's when early season tulips are wonderful because that's when we're the most depressed because we're going through the winter.
Yes, that's true.
And we want to see some. And we want to see some color.
Yeah.
And the mid-season ones, I like to plant among on the edges of landscape plantings so they kind of emerge.
All right.
And then you have this wonderful splash of color, and then when you got to let them die back, because the foliage is feeding the bulbs after after they bloomed. Well, then the foliage disappears.
All right,
So,
Jim, hang on. We're going to take a break. Come back. We'll talk to Rachel in Bay City when we return. A 401k can be an important asset for many American retirements. You made contributions to your 401k every single paycheck for years, even decades. Its tax advantages and portability make workers able to build sizable and important nest eggs. But its flexibility can also be costly if you aren't aware of potential mistakes. Great Lakes Investment Advisors have a guide that'll teach you how to avoid an IRS early distribution penalty and full taxation on rollovers, the little-known weapon you can use, your most mistake-proof option, and more. Request your guide today by calling 989-835-7203 or visit GreatLakesInvestmentAdvisors.com. This commercial shall in no way be construed as a solicitation to sell securities or advisory services of any state other than Michigan or where otherwise permitted. Topic should be discussed with your individual advisor prior to implementation. Advisory services offered through Great Lakes Investment Advisors, a registered investment advisor in the state of Michigan.
Do you have Medicare questions? TV ads. There are options available to you now through December 7th that you didn't have before. At Medicare Choices of Saginaw, they work with all the major companies in the state. Dental, vision, hearing aids, transportation, free meals, no charge over-the-counter drug purchases, plans as low as no Medicare Choices. It'll be the best call you ever made. For your no-fee service, call 989-899-7820. Medicare Choices of Saginaw. Again, 989-7820.
This is the Michigan Corn Connection with Thumb area farmer Matt Frostick, who was recently appointed to the National Corn Growers Association Board of Directors.
My term started on October 1. I felt like there was a need for Michigan to be represented on the national board. Currently, our number one priority is the next generation fuel bill, trying to get it passed and get it enacted and through Congress and signed through the president. That's top of the list at the national level. And that's something that we've really pushed at the state level for the last couple of years. But level the playing field with the automotive industry as far as liquid fuels versus electric vehicles and get a more comprehensive look at how you can measure pollution or air quality from what that car does. So it's really a win for the environment and for our industry as a whole.
Find out more at micorn.org.
What's the best product I bought this year? Oh, that's easy. Salonpas pain relieving patches. The proven medicines in Salonpas patches reduce my pain and let me do the things I need to do every day.
In a recent clinical study, patients using Salonpas reported improved sleep and the ability to work. They had less pain and were able to reduce their use of oral pain medications.
For pain, I use Salonpas. It's good medicine. He said me too.
You want to be a showstopper like The Miz? You want to be awesome? Then you'll want to have a game plan. Whether you're a champion or a bettor, you've got to be responsible. The DraftKings Sportsbook offers all the tools you need. You can set a realistic budget and bet within your means. You can set time, deposit, and wager limits so you can have a personal game plan for having fun while being responsible. I practice safe bets, and so should you. Visit DraftKings.com/responsible-gaming to learn about all these tools and more.
Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/responsible gambling resources.
Hey, it's Dana Cortez, and I'm married to DJ Automatic. When it comes to big life decisions, having options is something I value for our family, especially when it comes to saving money. That's why I love State Farm.
State Farm knows everyone has a budget, and they've got options like insuring your car and your home, getting you great rates on both, or they can help personalize your policy with options so that you can get a surprisingly great rate.
I love that option. Saving money, that's what it's all about, so we bundle our home and our car. So for surprisingly great rates, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call or go to statefarm.com for a quote today.
On the next Markley Van Camp and Robin show, it's the Friday 5, and it's going to be the greatest countdown ever.
I just know it. I can feel it in my bones. A lot of pressure. Robbins, weekdays at noon on 100.5 and 790. News Radio WSGW. Thank you for being with 100.5 and 790. News Radio WSGW. In the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design center studios.
All right, we're back with you, chatting with Jim Begic from Begic Nursery and Garden Center, and we have John in Midland and then Rachel. John, good morning.
Good morning, Eric. Hi, Jim.
Hi.
So I've got a question. I just recently moved to Midland, and my wife has a favorite rose bush planted at our old home, and we tried to dig it out. It's a huge rose bush. I'm wondering how much, what's the best way, if at all, can we to get it planted or transplanted?
I mean, you have it out of the ground now and it's just laying there?
No, it's not. It's in the ground. We tried about 3 weeks ago to dig it out, but we knew that it was too big for us to just do it by myself. I would need help. So we packed everything back down. We never had it out of the ground. Never broke the main rut.
All right. Well, the thing about established roses is that the old, like Rugosa rose, shrub rose, like the ones with the heavy-duty thorns on them and get big and bushy.
This one would get about 3 foot tall on a good year and had some pretty good-sized thorns. It was very hardy. It's probably about 15 years old.
Okay. Well, first of all, this is not a great time of the year to transplant roses. Unfortunately, it's a good time to plant. And I said, yeah, it's a great time to transplant. But in this case, I would say no, because you're taking kind of a risk because the roses are still a little bit active right now, and they still probably have quite a few leaves on them. Now, the best you can do, and that means they're going to lose water to the leaves, which isn't good. The best thing that you can possibly do or try to do is try and minimize, just tie it together. Try and take a little bit of the foliage off the top, okay? Not necessarily pruning roses in the fall, but take a little off the top to reduce the foliage level, and take as much earth mass out along with those roots as possible. In other words, start, from the, I don't know how thick the main trunk is, if you will, down at the base, but go out from there at least a foot, one direction or the other, and then work from the outside in so you can actually create a little bit of an earth ball with it. Okay.
Okay.
And then try and get that up onto a piece of burlap or in a large pot, even in a tray. You got to keep it damp. and transplant it as soon as possible. Okay, don't leave it to the ground and into the ground as quickly as possible. Okay,
so have the new hole ready to go.
Oh yeah,
have the new hole ready to go, and then adjust the depth so you don't necessarily plant it too deep. But planting too shallow on a rose is just as bad. So it's got to be at the same level it was used to being growing in the past. Okay, so so that and believe it or not, I talk about bulbs and bone meal and so forth. Use a little bit of that bone meal with it because it's a nice mild root stimulant. Soak it in and then cover it with about 4 inches of mulch. Nice and heavy, 4 to 5 inches even, and nice and heavy. So as it gets colder, it freezes slowly and thaws slowly.
There you
and
go.
Then you can take that mulch off, and then after in the spring. Okay.
All right.
Okay. Great.
Great.
Jimmy, sounds good. I'm glad you're back and healthy, being healthy.
Okay.
Thanks.
I'll see you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now.
Care. Bye.
And let's talk to Rachel in Bay City. Rachel, you're on with Jim Begic. Good morning.
Good morning, guys. Hey, so I love tulips, and every year I buy some more tulip bulbs, but I don't buy them until after my tulips have bloomed and faded and gone. And then when I go to plant my new tulip bulbs, I will hit one of my existing old tulip bulbs in the ground. Will that, if I see that I've spiked a tulip bulb in the ground, will that harm, hurt, kill it? I mean, like, what should I do?
Well, I mean, if it's already died back, and it's pretty hard to remember where all your tulip bulbs are planted. I get it.
Yeah, no, you can't. No.
Yeah, right. But and I've done the same thing before. But chances are, if you've let the foliage die back naturally before you cut it off, then foliage has done its job of feeding the bulb, for its dormancy period. So if you get it back in the way, you shouldn't have any problem at all. Okay, that bulb will still be viable.
Okay.
Yep. So just get it back in the ground, get it down to the proper depth, and like I said, about 3 times as deep as what the bulb is long, and that'll be fine for you. Okay. So sometimes it's when people dig them up and they still have foliage on them, and you leave them sit for a couple of days, then you can have some problems.
Okay. Great. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Rachel.
Very good. Thank you.
Yep.
Good luck.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. That opens the lines for you, 989-752-6111. If you have a question for Jim Begic from Begic Nursery and Garden Center, Westside Saginaw Road in Bay City.
Are you looking for something special? Something right for your needs? What about something with performance, backed by unique germplasm? Well, we're here to help you find a soulmate for your soil. Your soil mate. With AgriGold, enjoy a seed made so specifically for your soil it feels like fate. And with a team that's with you every step of the way, it's never been easier. Find your soil mate at ChooseAgriGold.com.
Virginia, Kansas, Berkeley, Ventura, San Francisco, San Diego, Oakland, and Grand Junction, Little Rock, Springfield, Maryland, and Washington. Paul Young has been aired. But he hasn't spent a lot of time in Michigan. Paul Young has been away from Michigan for nearly 40 years, living in California and all around the country for decades. Now he's spending over $1 million of his fortune to buy a congressional seat here in mid-Michigan. Paul Young has an agenda in Congress, and it's not ours. Young's agenda would give tax breaks to millionaires like himself while raising taxes on the middle class and putting Medicare and Social Security at risk. And Young is on the side of wealthy drug companies against lower prescription prices for families and seniors. Paul Young is not from here, and he's definitely not for us. Paid for by House Majority PAC, theHouseMajorityPAC.com, not authorized. House Majority PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
RocketGrabPlus.com. This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is for Kokomo's. You are going to get a family fun package. The package includes a game card with $62.50 in credits, 2 12-inch single topping pizzas, and 2 pops, plus 5 attractions. If you're looking for something fun to do with the family, Kokomo's is your one-stop shop. Head to RocketGrabPlus.com right now to snag your deal.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
She posted about us just now.
Celebrities can't get enough of Biana's bespoke skincare line.
She has 147 million followers.
She needs a social media associate to help her with the hype.
We should repost this. Do we need a hashtag?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, it's Dana Cortez, and I'm married to DJ Automatic. When it comes to big life decisions, having options is something I value for our family, especially when it comes to saving money. That's why I love State Farm.
State Farm knows everyone has a budget, and they've got options like insuring your car and your home, getting you great rates on both, or they can help personalize your policy with options so that you can get a surprisingly great rate.
I love that option. So we bundle our home and our car. So for surprisingly great rates, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call or go to statefarm.com for a quote today.
Art Lewis here for WSGW, inviting you to explore America's last frontier, Alaska, from August 30th to September 10th, 2023. You'll fly from Detroit to Fairbanks for the start of a 12-day land and sea adventure. Ride the stern wheel of discovery as you learn about Alaska's diverse culture and rich history. Then it's on to Denali National Park for a tundra wilderness tour. From Denali, you'll ride a luxury dome rail car to Talkeetna and stay at the Talkeetna Alaskan Lodge. The next day finds you driving to Whittier to board Holland America's New Amsterdam for a 7-night cruise. You'll see Hubbard Glacier, Glacier Bay, plus stops in Skagway, Juneau, and Ketchikan before sailing the Inside Passage to your final destination of Vancouver, BC. Past experience tells us this will sell out fast. For a brochure, and I will forward the brochure to you. Send to artlewis@wsgw.com. That's ARTLEWIS at WSGW.com. Alaska is calling.
Hi, this is Mike Avery, and here's what's coming up this week on Outdoor Magazine. First, Dean Hall from the Michigan Sportsmen Against Hunger. Then Ted Harpham of Dart and Archery and Nick Buja of the Michigan Wildlife Council. In hour number 2, it's Michigan's meteorologist Mark Torregrossa with the weather outlook for the firearm deer season, plus Chad Stewart of the DNR. And in our third hour, we're talking fishing with Mark Romanak of Fishing 411. Listen Saturday mornings at 6 and Sundays at 9 on WSGW.
All right, back with you here on WSGW. And we are talking to Jim Begic from Begic Nursery and Garden Center, Westside Saginaw Road in Bay City. Dale is in Bridgeport. Dale, good morning. You're on with Jim.
Good morning.
Hi.
I have a couple of hydrangea plants. I'd like to know how to set them up for winters.
Okay, can you tell me? All right, difficult question for you, Bob. Hey, what kind of hydrangeas are they? Are they the mop head types, like that are pink or bluish, or are they have long blossoms on them that kind of come to a point? Can you describe them to me? Because
the flower is bluish and it has blossom. It's not a gold type of blossom. It's a round.
It's round. Okay, it's round, and did you say it was bluish?
Yep.
Okay. All right.
It's a bush, not a.
Okay. Don't do much of anything. If you want to do anything, you can. If the blossoms are faded, you might want to take those in, dry them, and so forth. But some of these, some of the newer hydrangeas now, especially the ones that are blooming well for you, they can bloom on both old and new growth. The biggest mistake people make with that type of hydrangea is they think they're dying back and they got to cut them down to the ground. Don't do that, okay? Because they have blossom buds that have probably formed on the side of the existing branches. And when they say they're rebloomers or what they call remontant, that means they'll bloom on old growth, and then some of those will bloom maybe in September. So do as minimal amount as possible on those. That's the rule. And if they get too big, which they rarely do, but if they get too big, then you can do them right after their first blossom in the summer. But don't do anything right now, but take the old blossom heads off.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Dale, thanks. Bye-bye now. And Tim is in Saginaw. Tim, good morning. You're on with Jim Begic.
Morning.
I got a quick question. I put in a vegetable garden every year. I was wondering what would be the best fertilizer to put in there, and do I do it in the fall or do I do it in the spring?
Well, early in the spring is a good time to do it. If you wanted to add organic fertilizers, it's a good time to do it in the fall. But more of the mineral types of fertilizers, you want to do that in the springtime because that gives it a quick boost, and it's long, but it'll give it a quick boost. I mean, if you've got compost or stuff like that you want to mix into the soil, do it now. If it's small composted, that'll beef up the organic matter in there, and I think that's important. I'm a big believer in organics. So,
yeah, I do throw a lot of that stuff in there, and we throw our garbage and all that stuff in there, and I till it all in and all that. But I wasn't sure if in the spring if I should put chemical fertilizer in then to help it boost or.
Well, what do you grow? I mean, you're talking about vegetable garden in general, aren't you?
Yeah, I grow all. Yeah, yep.
Okay.
Tomatoes, peppers, all that good stuff.
Okay. This is what I used to do, and it worked really well. And I don't have my garden anymore, but I used to do, and it worked really well. Is I did put some 12, or some 15. As soon as I could get out there in middle to end of March, and if I got a couple of dry days where I could work it up, I put it on then, even though it was well before. And that got some nutrient into the soil. And then when I planted, and that would have been, at least 6 weeks later, or at least 4 weeks later, if you're dealing with the cold crops, 4 weeks later, then I used a organic-based fertilizer like Espoma's, Garden Tone, and so forth when I planted, and only along the areas where I was doing the planting. Okay, because that was long-term and slow release, and you couldn't make a mistake with it. Even if you dumped half a bag out, all you have to do is spread it out and it'll still be okay. It was it's very safe, and it's very long term. And but I would gave it a little bit of a early on, and followed it up when I did planting time. Okay. And it seemed to work really well.
I was always kind of worried about burning or having too much or something. And
don't do that. You don't want to use the farm grade fertilizers when you're actually doing your planting, especially if you're putting your squash and tomatoes and pepper plants and things like that, because that's too hot. But we're doing it earlier on, so it has a chance to dilute down and get infused into the soil. That's fine.
Oh, cool. Great. That sounds a great plan to me. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Bye.
All right.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now. Let's talk about fertilizers for a minute, because over the years, they've changed, haven't they?
Well, yeah, you've got every formulation in the book now, because it's actually quite big business, and everything has its advantages when it comes down to it. The thing about analyses is that's a little bit deceiving, because what they do is they give you percentages by weight. So you might see something in a liquid or a soluble fertilizer, like a Peters or a Miracle-Gro or a Jack's fertilizer, which are good in their respects, but you'll see something in there like 35% nitrogen, 5% potassium, but that's by weight in the container. Once you dilute it down, that's far less. And then you'll see an organic fertilizer that's like a 633, and they say, well, the stuff with 35% must be better than the 6%. No, but see, they're in a bag that's a 20-pound bag. In a bag that's a 20-pound bag. So it all depends on what you're fertilizing and what your mode of application is. So you can't just lump it together. That's dangerous.
All right, Jim, what kind of hours are you keeping?
Well, right now we're open 9 to 7 normally on the weekdays, and then we got 9 to until this Christmas season starts, and then 11 to 4 on Sunday. And of course, our Christmas open house is a week from today, so we're feverishly working on getting that ready. We've got some areas closed. Everything's open, but we got some areas closed out because we got to get them decorated.
All right.
But there you go.
Look forward to it. All right, Jim. Listen, I appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye. Bye-bye now. We'll be back to close out after these notes.
Are you ready for retirement? Well, Jason and Carl Kreiderman with Great Lakes Investment Advisors have a new book that can help make retiring easier and empower your retirement. They talk about how a plan can make the difference between just surviving and thriving in retirement. Using everyday language, this book explores how a simple process can help you cover all the bases of your financial life, including how taxes can affect your retirement and much more. Your finances are too important to leave to chance. Empower Your Retirement is written to help you understand the must-dos to prepare for the retirement you desire. Get your free copy of Empower Your Retirement by calling 989-848-1188. That's 989-848-1188. And for more on retirement planning, tune into Jason and Carl's radio show, Your Financial Empower Hour, every Sunday morning at 8. Firm provides insurance services, investment advisory services offered by Great Lakes Investment Advisor firm in the state of Michigan. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal.
Let's face it, credit cards are pretty much a necessity.
New tires for the car? Here's my card.
I order takeout, here's my card. And most of us just accept the high interest rates credit cards charge as a necessary evil.
What are you going to do?
Get a low fixed rate credit card consolidation loan from Lightstream from $5,000 to $100,000 and pay off those credit card balances. Apply online and you could get your money as soon as the day you apply. The average credit card company charges over 19% APR. But with Lightstream, you can get a fixed rate as low as 6.99% APR with autopay and excellent credit.
High interest credit cards and save money at a much lower rate.
Lightstream.com/radio and get an additional interest rate discount. That's lightstream.com/radio. Lightstream.com/radio.
Subject to credit approval. Rates range from 6.99% APR to 21.49% APR and include a 0.5% autopay discount. Lowest rate requires excellent credit. Terms and conditions apply and offers are subject to change without notice. Visit lightstream.com/radio for more information.
The WSGW Morning Team.
We're officially welcoming Denise into the newsroom and the morning team. Denise Shannon did have one person question the spelling of Denise. DENYS. We would say ISE.
I have had people say, you spell your name wrong. My parents picked my name and my mom went to have me baptized. The priest wouldn't baptize me unless she changed the spelling of my name because evidently there's a saint named Saint Dennis. And I've found out since then that it doesn't make any difference whether it's an I or a Y, but this guy was just adamant about the fact that she needed to change my name. So she did. It was changed from an I to a Y.
Well, thank you for the
Yeah. A couple of times I've heard people just say, why do you spell your name wrong? Because I can.
Art Lewis is called in.
I wanted to welcome Denise to the family.
The Morning Team. 5:30 till 9 on WSGW.
That'll do it for the Art Lewis Show for today. We will be back with Focus after the news, which is next here on WSGW.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour. Steele.
I'm Steve Kathan. A break-in and violent attack at the San Francisco home of House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. It happened early this morning. CBS's Scott McFarland says she was not home, but her husband was.
Speaker Pelosi says the family is asking for their privacy at this time. That's through the statement from her spokesman. But we know Paul Pelosi is hospitalized after a violent assault. An assailant broke into the house in San Francisco. The assailant was taken into custody. No possible motivation for this attack has been released.
Sources say the assailant had a hammer. The AP reports Paul Pelosi suffered blunt force trauma to the head. In a White House statement, President Biden called the attack horrible and has spoken with the House Speaker. On his social media platform, former President Trump writes Twitter is now in sane hands with new owner Elon Musk. Trump was permanently suspended from Twitter after the Capitol attack. CNET's Ian Schurer.
This is one of the most influential products in the world. People use it compared to something like Facebook. It is incredibly important. And the Twitter that they interact with will probably be very different a week from now from the Twitter we know today.
A family of 8 was found dead inside a burning home in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, outside Tulsa. Police have opened a homicide investigation, but they say they don't think there's a threat to the public. Kaylin Lemke lives nearby.
Nobody really knows what's going on right now, so until we have better information, I think we just pray and hope for the best for everybody involved.
The Coast Guard says 13 people were rescued from a sinking fishing vessel off the Virginia coast. Officials say it may have collided with another ship. Near the world's largest volcano, Mauna Loa, are being told to be on alert. There are signs it could erupt, but probably not imminently. Ken Hahn lives nearby.
Do I turn to the right when I hit the highway? Do I turn to the left when I hit the highway? Right, that's what you really want to know. But we can't do that until we react to what the volcano is doing.
Well, overseas, a money milestone today in the reign of Britain's new sovereign.
The first British coins with a portrait of King Charles III are now being struck. The 50 pence pieces are due to go into circulation in December. The Royal Mint's Rebecca Morgan.
The 50p has King Charles III's effigy on the front, and on the reverse, it's a memorial design for Queen Elizabeth II.
Coins with Charles are expected to be minted starting next year. Steve Dorsey, CBS News, London.
Checking Wall Street, the Dow is up 597 points. This is CBS News.
If you're a business owner, you can save a ton of money on a custom-designed building made by General Steel. Just call 888-74-STEEL and get a quote today.
Are you maximizing every acre of your operation? How much yield and how many dollars might you be leaving out in the field? At Precision Planting, we believe in better. We believe we can. It's our goal to come alongside growers to help identify areas of opportunity and provide solutions that get the most of every aspect of crop production. We know you aren't satisfied with the status quo, and neither are we. From new technologies for your equipment to researching the latest crop production practices and inputs, we strive to not only provide the best products, but also to provide the best information possible to farmers around the world. You can learn more about Precision Planting, our products, and our mission at precisionplanting.com. That's precisionplanting.com. Precisionplanting.com. Or you can contact your local Precision Planting Premier dealer.
Hi, this is Joe Cordell & Cordell. When the prospect of divorce becomes a reality, you need a partner that you can count on. If you're a man in this situation, consider contacting Cordell & Cordell. We've helped men navigate complex legal matters for 30 years.
Contact Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Detroit area attorneys, a partner men can count on. Offices in Troy and Ann Arbor. Online at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com.
RocketGrabPlus.com. Why pay full price when you know you can save at RocketGrabPlus.com? Check out our deals from Wheeler's Restaurant, Breaking New Corn Maze, Third Gen Tire and Service Center, Saginaw Old Town Junction, and Salon Blue. Half off? Yeah, it's true. It's all at RocketGrabPlus.com. RocketGrabPlus.com.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
Well, gray skies and 44 degrees at 11:05. Good morning, I'm Mike Percha. Fire crews in Kochville Township responded to a fast food restaurant Wednesday for a car fire. The fire started around 5:40 p.m. at the Qdoba restaurant on Bay Road. Employees inside the building noticed smoke through the window and called 911. The building was safely evacuated as a precaution, and the business closed for the evening. The vehicle was nearly fully engulfed by the time crews arrived on the scene. The cause of the fire is still under investigation. Saginaw Police Department is hosting a front porch roll call November 7th for area residents to meet and interact with Saginaw Police. Held at 6 p.m. at the Neighborhood Community Center at 3145 Russell Street. Residents can get a chance to see and hear the difficulties and challenges officers face in the course of their duties, who will share details of crime trends and how to build a team approach. Those who attend will also get an opportunity to ask questions and voice concerns. Further roll calls will be held in other areas of the city at later dates. For more information, visit the Saginaw Police Department Facebook page. Those who have lost someone to suicide can register for an event to connect with and support others who have gone through a similar experience. The annual Hope Starts Here event is held in observance of International Survivors of Suicide Day, which falls November 23rd. The Barb Smith Suicide Resource and Response Network at the Bavarian Inn Lodge and Conference Center on November 19th from 9 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. Pre-registration for the event can be found by going p2p.onecause.com. and searching for Hope Starts Here 2022. WSGW News Time, 11:07.
For almost 20 years, Line-X has been the only place to go for quality spray-on bed liner. But did you know they also offer rust-proofing and undercoating?
Their exclusive process will keep your new or used vehicle protected.
The guys at Line-X have the only wax-based rust-proofing and military-spec undercoat to ensure years of protection.
In fact, all new vehicles protected will get a lifetime warranty. No yearly touch-ups required.
And because their rust-proofing process is wax-based, you won't have any long-term dripping or mess to clean up later. Rust-proof your car, truck, or SUV and protect it year-round.
Line-X is located on Wilder Road in Bay City.
989-671-9820 or call them at their Grand Blanc location, 810-695-9000.
Remember, your new car, truck, or SUV gets a lifetime warranty with no yearly touch-up required.
Again, the number in Bay City is 989-671-9820 or in Grand Blanc, 810-695-9000.
WSGW News Time, 11:08. The weather forecast is coming up next. In Petoskey, an Emmett County woman who shot and killed her live-in boyfriend in an alleged act of self-defense has been bound over for trial. 48-year-old Heather Mogg was arrested in August for the shooting of 50-year-old Jonathan Tippett. She's charged with second-degree homicide, possessing a firearm, and possessing a firearm under the influence of alcohol. Mock has told deputies she acted in self-defense after a physical altercation between the two. The State Attorney General's office 7 investigations into allegations against Catholic priests. Officials say they've investigated 44 complaints related to the Marquette Diocese. Marquette Bishop John Dorfler has issued an apology.
To all of those who have been harmed by clergy sexual abuse, I offer again my sincere apology on behalf of the Church. We offer to you the healing love of Jesus Christ. May he come into your life and heal the deep wounds of your heart.
State Attorney General's office has been investigating dioceses across Michigan since 2018. 11 people have been charged, including 2 in the UP. Not get any time off to vote, but a lot of other U.S. states do. 29 states plus the District of Columbia requires that employers permit workers time off to vote on Election Day. 22 of those states require that the time off is paid. States without voting leave laws, including close-watched swing states like Michigan, North Carolina, and Pennsylvania. According to Bloomberg Law, a federal proposal to ensure workers have voting leave has stalled in Congress. When you see news happening, call the WSGW News 0790. It's 11:10. I'm Mike Percha.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. Mostly sunny skies here for today with a high into the upper 50s. Winds out of the southeast.